welcome back. As you can see,
I'm Azreen.
and I'm Ah Kit.
This is the Teh Tarik Hour.
And we are Malaysians.
You know why I say Azreen? Because I already
You changed it. And people will be confused, eh? But as you can see, we decided to switch it up on this part 2 of our LGBTQIA plus episode.
Yeah, we should continue with the last episode.
The previous episode we would talk about our experiences and all that stuff and why we started talking about LGBTQ things in our Malaysia in Asia basically. But today we will specifically talk about LGBTQ in Malaysia itself and you know how it's viewed, the laws, the support and all this kind of thing So let's start first in terms of like in the working world
The working world, yes.
How is LGBT presence is looked upon in
Okay, from my case study, got 5 to 10% in the society is gays or lesbians or this group of people. So no matter in the work industry like our agencies like those the MNC, especially the multinational companies they have got this group of people actually is quite talented people who are contribute in the industries.
I mean that's their talents shouldn't be considered.
So some of the companies like especially the US companies, they have a group like a LGBT group inside it's a committee inside the multinational companies. They try to support this group of people. Yeah,
that means provide support.
They make the support because this is a very important. The manpower actually is the access for the company also, because this group of people is getting grower and grower more. Many of these kind of people So the companies will very look into this issue also. They try to support this group of people.
I don't think that kind of thing exists in Malaysia. It seems a bit way too much work for company here. I will say though, I mean, as far as I know, in terms of like in the private sector in the creative side, it's much more open. People don't really care if you're gay or not. You won't get like special treatment as long as you do your job well. It's all about how you can do it And when I work in other like MNC company or company who are like not from Malaysia they are much more open to this kind of lifestyle. They don't really care as long as you do the work
I think because I heard from my friends I heard from my friend working in one of the corporate companies because they have only it's the US companies. I think the others like British, I don't know I mean he worked in the US companies. They have this kind of support from the companies.
There's like open support in terms of that.
Because sometimes it's like he not there to talk to people. He not there to I admit I'm gay, because they are for initially he not admit he is gay. So he not there to, because some people he meet some people is you are gay, so what? I'm gay also. Nothing to shame about my
your preference or your sexuality like this.
Yes. So they are form of the group, and maybe they are because they want to say this is nothing wrong with me, so this is my personal life. So actually personal life and work is related.
Of course, it should be separate.
If let's say I'm happy, I'm happy with my partners. So nothing is happy also in the work, also in the happy, right? Something is like.
I mean, yeah, overall it should be like that, but it shouldn't be a factor in deciding your job Like, just because you're gay doesn't mean like you're better or you're worse in terms of doing a job There's nothing to do, right?
But come back to Malaysia and come back to some conservative companies. Yeah, say, you are gay. Maybe I'm not hire you. You are look different.
I mean, that's like it's similar like racism in a sense.
Yes, because maybe your ability is not there. You are very. Your direction is different. You are not normal.
But that's
we are not like work with
so weird.
normal people.
Why is considered normal?
This is what's the considered normal.
I mean the what is considered normal? It's different for different people in the world But here, in the fact that you need to look your sexuality to affect your job is kind of terrible in a sense. But again, I think it varies from industry to industry Like something like a creative industry, these kinds of things is not really an issue, ma. As far as I know, I mean, the places we worked before, like our previous agency, they don't really care all these things, ma. As long as you can do your job and you
Yes.
do all these things, who cares what your thing is,
But because their companies have do more advanced because they have to try to support their employee to become better and make them happy. Make them happy, you know.
I mean, you know what will make people more happy? You pay more, lah. This is the most important, lah.
But some people is like those people are already pay more. I got the salary, I got the wages is more. But I'm still not feel happy, you know.
No,
so
I think
what you make you happy? Maybe it's your partner already. The company is thinking, oh, maybe it's a partner.
when the company want to find a partner for you, is it?
But still now is think wages is more important right now.
Which is more important, lah. But that's a different topic for a different day. Capitalism, I will tell you how you can do a topic on this, or then you see.
They're different.
But back to LGBT and the treatment here in Malaysia, lah. As I said, in the corporate world, as far as I'm aware, lah, and the places I've been to, lah, if it's a MNC, especially like a European or Western company, they are much more open towards your whatever your lifestyle, and there's no prejudice, and they won't like use it against you, lah. Like, but if you say working in the government, I think that's impossible.
Malaysia, I think Malaysia government lah. I mean, still Malaysia. You know, Singapore is the LGBT already recognized by.
This is the thing. They repealed the law for
just reason only. This thing, just reason.
Yeah, just like last year, lah. Basically, they said that last time before this, if you are gay and you perform sodomy, inner sex, lah. Basically.
Sodomy, you got story, right?
Surprisingly, I never done it before, leh.
I'm not saying you done it before.
Women, lah. Not I receive, lah.
Okay.
I don't know. Personally, for me, I feel like very scary to try that, ma. Why you suddenly got the brown thing? I'm not comfortable with that.
That one is chocolate sauce, right?
Chocolate sauce.
Okay, sorry for.
Okay, but in Singapore, they repealed that law. Basically, if you perform anal sex, between men, basically, which is funny, eh? This law only apply to gay men. Gay women or lesbian, not really an issue, leh.
They are recognized, man. The whole group, LGBT,
I mean, yes, of course, but like the law specifically for Singapore is it applies to men. Because women, if you are caught, women, yes, society will say, oh, you are a terrible person, but there's no actual law to punish them. For men in Singapore back then, if you are caught doing that, then you can get jail or punished, basically. And now Singapore has said like, well, they are more progressive. They understand like it's just a normal thing for them. So there's no law. But in Malaysia, we still have the sodomy laws.
Yes.
So if you are caught, especially if you're a Malay guy, funny though, if you're a Malay guy but you are a special higher level person, that law don't apply to you, leh. Certain eagle, certain helang, as we say, certain big people, they don't get the punishment. But if you're a normal person, and if you're a Malay person, even more if you're a Malay person and you're caught doing that, jail, punishment, even you get the cane, rotan, caning as well. Which I guess like it comes from the fact that it's religion based, lah, basically. Why we have that kind of thing, because also Malaysia is a like Muslim majority country, so a lot of the law is tied to religious thing, lor.
For come to religions, I don't think got one religion in support the same section.
I mean,
even Catholics or Christians, they also is not. I mean, say support. It not support.
In the terms of Hinduism, is there any? I'm not too familiar with
Hinduism's. I'm not so familiar.
I'm not too familiar myself, but I don't specifically recall any specific passage that attack gay people, lah. I mean, I know like if we ask any person who is Hindu and practice Hinduism or this, they probably say like they don't support gay people, but that's because we've been taught so long that gay people is a bad thing, lah. I don't know specifically in the religion sense of what But of course, in Muslim or in Catholic and all this, Buddhism got anything against?
Buddhism, Buddhism, they also don't have any restriction for gay.
Against,
The
right?
moral, because they are also saying, because a lot of Chinese, maybe they are not putting religions or Buddhism, lah. They are putting the moral. They put in a moral. Moral should not do this.
But where does that come from, leh? Where does that idea come from?
The moral things,
Like, when did we decided?
From grandparents is you are wrong. You cannot be gay. This is a call.
Yeah, but this is like we don't.
You don't have any moral. I don't know. This is how they are degenerate this kind of the mindset. I heard from my young my kids. You see the people gay man to man that one is not immoral. No.
They know moral. They don't know. They can't tell good and bad.
Oh, these are really bad people.
It's like that one. But again, when you are young, you just accept So that's why when you grow up, you accept that as truth already. You know?
After I grow up, when I work, then I will.
You meet the people.
I meet the people who are nice, and then it's a gay, and a lot of these kind of people. Then I can accept. Because from initially, I also not accept. Oh, this fella is gay, because this is already in my mindset.
Exactly, same lah. I mean,
Ah.
traditionally, that's what you're being taught lah. It's like you see a gay people, bad people.
Yeah,
It's
you
like-
will touch your bad side. Your backside.
You imagine if you are
my
no,
grandparents always say like that. You don't go for the gay people and then touch your backside one.
you a child, right? Back then, right? You imagine the person who would do this, it's a pedophile already. It's not about a gay thing.
Yeah, correct.
That is a pedophile. You can say that the same about normal straight people.
Even strict
Normal.
people, you also do the same thing also.
Got pedophile also.
Ah.
So, in fact, I think there's more cases
The
of
pervert can be not. I mean,
it doesn't matter your sex.
the
That
pervert,
is a person pervert already a pervert.
pervert is already pervert.
But the thing is, we were being taught when we were young, like the gay people automatically pervert, which is kind of like.
This is very wrong mindset.
But again, it comes from religion, personally, in terms of like, I mean, you grew up Buddhism, right?
After convert to Catholic and convert to Christian,
Wow, you collect all the religion.
collect all.
Just okay, time to switch to Malay.
Maybe one day I become a Muslim. How I know? Who know?
You wanna? If you join I get
I
the.
can get 4-5 wife. So nice.
If you join, you let me know. Then I can collect the bonus point.
Bonus.
I get
You
point
want
for.
bonus link? Is it? You got bonus link card?
Hey, it's like that one. If I manage to convert or revert someone, I get bonus point in heaven. You know,
Yes. Even Catholic church is same also.
right?
Yeah.
It's like MLM, you know. Collect downline. But it's like that. It's mostly religion in terms of like. Religion is the one that dictates that tells gay people are immoral or have no morality like that. When in fact, like for Muslim itself, it was based on the idea of sodomy and Gomorrah. Sodom and Gomorrah. The passage back then is like the person attacked another man and tried to do anal sex, which is where sodomy comes from. It's as a crime. And people see that as when you do gay sex, it's immoral because it's a crime as dictated by the passage. But the other aspect that people don't actually see is that the person who did the sodomy, right, is actually tried to rape the other man. It's not the fact that it's not just the fact that they had gay sex. It's also the fact that the person forced himself to the other man. So from my perspective, there I would say like, oh, this is more towards like sexual assault rather than the fact that they had gay sex, But religions see it as just gay
Yes.
sex, so they just assume that anyone who do gay sex is immoral,
Yes.
which causes the downfall of Gomorrah and all this.
And then
this
this
thing,
is a two. I mean, it's a two issue you put in one issue, correct? Which means is, the rap and you willing to do this is different.
The preference is different than the act itself of like the rape itself, I mean, I cannot say for sure because I'm not really a scholar of Muslim scripture or all this old time scripture. But like, when I go deep and dive into this, because I also like, what is the origin of the sodomy law and all this thing, and I look back and I see all these people explaining this one perspective and this one perspective, because in the end of the day, it's all about how you explain the text to current day law, because there's no actual proof. We don't really know what happened, other than this text, and we just try to make it understand it from our perspective, lah. And from my perspective, I see it's like, well, it's not just the fact that they had anal sex, it's also the fact that, you know, this guy tried to attack the other guy. That could be a reason there as well. So in terms of Muslim, even back then when I researched even more, there were essence of gay men in the Muslim world like long time ago, which is unexpected for me. There's like poetry and there was art that depicts gay sex within the Muslim world, which is interesting. So even like country like Turkey, which is a very Muslim country, back in the day, they didn't have any law against gay people. But after a while, the fundamentalists come out, and then the people who push for the gay is wrong, then only now people start to perceive gay as being wrong. So at the end of the day, it's like people who do it. But okay, we're going outside of Malaysia. Let's come back into Malaysia itself and how Malaysia perceive the gay. I mean, I mentioned briefly that we still consider it as wrong, illegal, if you're caught doing it.
Not recognized. Can I say wrong, but not recognized by government?
Not recognized. Funny you should say that, because recently Anwar, who is our current PM, who was, I guess, jailed, caught guilty for doing sodomy,
Sodomy.
and he was jailed for it. And after he got in power, he went up. The reporter asked him about like, what are your views on LGBT or communism, socialism, all this thing? Will you push this? Because like the opposition say you will push all this thing. He straight say, if I'm in power, all this movement will never gain traction. So in other words, he's not gonna put support for LGBT and all this thing. And we can see that, and I can understand why he did it actually, because in the end of the day, here is Malay Muslim majority. If you want to get their support, you need to play this kind of game.
Yeah, correct.
So if you are a gay or lesbian on this, it's not a good day.
I think in Malaysia, still majority people are saying this thing, we still put in the Muslim side. I
don't think it's just Muslim though, because like when I go to forums, online forum, and then there's this topic of people saying like, Singapore just repeal the law. A lot of the comment reply there are good. All the terrible people can go to Singapore now, like that kind of thing. There's still hatred amongst people towards gay people. And I personally think like a lot of people just hide the fact that they hate.
I think even in Chinese industry, Chinese communities, still the same one. If people is saying we saying Cantonese say gay lo, say gay lo. It's some kind of like, you not pay any respect for the people. Yeah, he is gay. Why you ask him? Why you say something is like, so this is bad people.
But what bad thing they done?
Yes, it just
I don't understand. Like people, you're bad. Like what did they do? Other than the fact that they just prefer same sex. It's like, how does that equal to wrong, man?
Yeah.
But that's the perspective here in Malaysia. In terms of like legality, it's still considered a crime. However, in states more progressive, like KL, if you're gay, as long as you don't outwardly show it, people don't bother you . But if you're in more conservative states like Kelantan or Terengganu, there will be more severe punishment if you are caught being that kind of.
Okay, that way I think Kelantan, they are more Muslim in power on control the regulations.
They try to enforce the
laws of the
religious law
the Muslim laws or something.
The recent fatwa about you can't attend Thai Pusam if you're Muslim. Not, don't say attend, cannot observe.
We have a accept. This is more on the nations and more on the race and all that . It's not about this group of people is still they are in the grey zone,
Grey zone.
Gray zone. The gray zone that they don't have any place for them to stand up for. Say, I'm gay. I'm proud to say that I'm gay. That kind of means a voice out for them. I'm not saying you have to voice out, because sometimes I'm not voice out. I got girlfriend. I'm not saying something like that. I got married. Nothing. But in the end, I feel comfortable to talk to someone. So, hey, where is your girlfriend? Oh no, I'm gay. I got my boyfriend. It's some kind of like very
Yeah, just make it normal to talk.
just normal to talk. Something is like, I want to hide. Is it not good to say out I'm gay? It's not good to say I got boyfriend.
But the
You're
thing is,
afraid to do the conversation
that
with
fear
people.
is real though. That fear is real in Malaysia lah. If you were to say, oh, me and my boyfriend went shopping the other day, and so people will immediately say, oh, gay die.
Yeah, it's something like you just like a normal people. How come you
like that lah?
how come you're so different? Then you can criticize from other people. So, how come you look so different? Huh? Then those auntie usually the auntie say, how come you look so different? Huh? You talk to someone, you look normal one. Why you not pick up your girlfriend like that? This kind of thing,
that otherizing people make it feel like you're not normal, you're not human. Right?
Yeah, it's some kind of like, I got
something wrong, is it?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
When in fact there's nothing wrong with what you want to do in terms of that, because at the end of the day, and goes back to like what I say about in terms of like prostitution, everything. Is it hurting anyone? If it's not hurting anyone, and what you do is consensual between two people, who cares, ma?
Yes.
It shouldn't be a weird thing. And for that kind of like, to have that shown towards people, it shouldn't be like a scary thing lah. Like a gay couple on TV, it shouldn't be like a scary thing or some kind of like something to brainwash the human to become more gay.
Okay.
Like that.
We actually my perspective my opinions lah. I'm not saying you have to be gay. It's not saying you have to be gay. It's some kind of you are born, you has already gay, but you have no choice. It's some kind of like
they didn't choose to be.
I'm not choose to be gay. I'm not support. You do could be gay. If let's say you are normal, then you normal. But some days I realize I'm gay. Then okay you be gay I'm not saying this is your personality your internals Yeah, what you like to do in this. In the world on this earth is up to you. I'm not harm anyone. I'm not do wrong to people. That's okay. You are okay. But you. Like us, we are usual. We not say you are gay, you are different, you look different taste. You are bad people. We are not judged because he got different taste. You are bad people. This is the word.
It's more about what actions that you do that.
I'm not saying gay people. Gay people is good, but
there are some bad gay people. Of course, if let's say the gay person attacks children, that's a pedophile. Nothing to do with that person being gay.
Yes.
Or if that person sexually assault another man. Like the attack a man, that's not a gay thing. That's a sexual assault. That's a predator,
Yeah.
That same thing can apply for a man attack a girl. We don't really say, oh, he's straight.
Yeah, he's
straight.
He's straight.
Oh,
He's straight. He's a good man. Good man. Good choice.
No, because he attacks a girl, that is the wrong already.
The man attack a man. Oh yeah, he a bad man. But he attack a girl. Okay,
it's good because he's straight.
Not pervert. This not pervert.
He's straight.
He's straight. Not pervert. This kind of thing.
We still have child marriages in Malaysia, and we think, oh, that's okay because they're straight, ma. But if it's a gay, the gay man want to marry children. Oh, cannot. Boy, that is wrong already, whether you're straight or gay one.
Yeah, it's the lah.
Next time, if like that, a person go to court, sir, you attack this woman. How dare you? But sir, I am straight. Okay,
Case closed. You are right.
You are correct.
You are correct. For gay people, you stay.
Next case, sir, I attack this guy. You are gay. Double punishment for you. Funny, the logic is not there sometimes.
No justice,
I mean, that's because that's just the society that we've been taught since our children age. we've been taught like, oh, gay is wrong, gay is bad, but we don't explain why gay is wrong is bad. We just say, oh, gay is wrong is bad because religion said so, or because they no moral, they don't have any moral. And then we just assume that's the case, and we never actually talk to the people who get punished and then unfairly, who get oppressed, who don't have access to things like we do and take for granted lah. And then it leads to bad things for them lah, like higher rate of depression, higher rate of suicide, and people. If you are a child who is gay, the parents don't accept that. You get thrown out of the house, and then you become homeless. All this thing. When all this thing can be avoided if we just say, "Yeah, it's okay to be gay, ma." It's like there's no help for these people in countries like Malaysia lah.
And because we hope Malaysia we got more this kind of organizations who can give a hand for this group of peoples lah.
NGOs to support this is very hard to survive in Malaysia because
I think it's because the religions some religions lah. I'm not name out the religions lah.
We don't even have to go for religion. We just have to say that the society view here is still very.
You give at least to give them. I mean, give them a support, give them a hand. I mean, not say because
the thing is, people say, oh, when we let this gay out, they will do like the pride parade, all this to show off the thing. When in fact, the purpose of all that is to normalize their existence so that people wouldn't have to be afraid all the time. Once you normalize that the existence of gay, do you think they need to do all this pride, man? We need to do straight pride. Yeah. No, ma, we already people accept it as normal.
A parade, right? Go parade. Use the big jungle dick.
What kind of parade you do? I mean, the purpose for all this pride and all this like push for more presence of gay is to say that these people exist and we need to treat them normally. Yeah. Once we start treat them normal and we don't see it as a other thing, we don't need to have this kind of pray on.
I think if we have a progress lah. I'm not saying protest or parade you have a progress for this group of people to become a normal.
Yeah, to push for more normalcy for their existence.
Sometimes like last time we cannot. It's just examples lah. The weed the weed you have a.
Last time it's like it's a devil
thing. Maybe a weed will become slowly to becomes a legalized. I mean in some other country lah. Because actually that one is a medicine ma. So it's slowly. It's sometimes like I just drink tea, you drink coffee, it different taste, then become a very.
I also used to be like hardcore anti-drug kind of person lah. But then I realized like this is a matter of preference, and the story about all this, like all the drug people will do. You remember all the commercials last time, the anti-dada, like the father goes to work, take the drug, come back home, and then die in the toilet like that. There's a lot of this commercial that points a very skewed perspective of drug usage.
Because all the messages come from from the campaign, those anti-drug campaign.
But that is a different story. There's a political aspect to that, which also I like to talk about, but we see if we can talk in this. But sticking back to gay and LGBTQ and their communities here, again, they get oppressed a lot and there's not much movement. But there is still progress lah. Particularly in places like Kuala Lumpur, where there's much more open, like I said, the Rex KL that had the event where they have like cross-dressers and trans people performing there. They try to provide space for all these people.
Sorry, I want to ask you one thing. Lady boys and the transgenders. Sometimes we call lady boy. We always is call lady boys. Lady boy is not respect for the transgender people, is it?
I mean, if you're being very PC political correct, very political correct, it's not really a good thing to say lady boy because that's kind of like
the lady and boy.
It's like a gender. Wouldn't say that. It's more like a insult
Insult
like you're less than like that. But because it's mostly for Thai actually, right? Lady boy comes from the Thai. A lot of the lady boy kind of like services, and for them maybe it's a normal thing, but if for more Western people it's like it's kind of like an insult Personally, I think as long as you don't say it with any, you're not trying to say it as an insult, it should be okay lah. Like last time, people say, "Oh, you're so gay," it's an insult, ma. Last time, but now we take it back. Being gay is like, "Oh, so gay, like it's a more like a try to make it more as a compliment." So maybe if we can change the meaning of the word or change the usage of the word, shouldn't be so bad lah. It depends on how you use the word lah, basically.
Yeah, maybe the tone and manner is different lah.
Exactly. It's just how you say it lah. If you say it like an insult, then yeah, don't use it like that lah.
Understand.
But a lot of people use it as an insult here in Asia lah, I think. Personally, I feel like it's still being used as an insult. But yeah, I don't know lah. But yeah, I mean, in KL,
come back to your question.
there is better movement towards accepting LGBTQ. Not the government wise lah. Government, we're still terrible. We still have a law against it, and we don't have protection for people who are LGBTQ. And if you're caught, especially if you're a Muslim man, even Muslim woman, I guess, but the punishment is not as severe compared to men. You still get punished for being that, and you'll be oppressed lah. And there's not much places for them to go to find help lah in Malaysia, as far as I know lah.
But for my opinions lah, my know lah, a lot of Malay peoples, I mean, lady boys, I mean, the trans lah,
Trans women,
trans women lah.
I mean, but they kind of look like there are famous trans women. Which is funny, right? Like there are people like this, and the people who go after them are more like religious people lah. Like the famous one is, he said, is Azreen and Ah Kit is a creative director who in Malaysia who's quite well known as a trans woman, and I think she didn't get much attack back then because like not many people are aware that she was a trans woman. But there are also current people like Sajat, which is a female influencer, a trans woman lah.
I know.
I mean, she was prosecuted in Malaysia lah because like she was too famous, people know her, so the religious people, well, we need to jail her lor for being this kind of person, and she ran away to Australia or something like that, I think.
Oh yeah.
And people here still attack her for being trans woman lah. There's no support for these kinds of things in Malaysia, unfortunately. Maybe you try to go to NGOs like befrienders to talk about your depression side, all this, but it's not specifically about helping LGBT. The community is not strong, unfortunately. Of course, you can still survive, you can still have a good life as a gay person in places like Kuala Lumpur and all this. But in more conservative states, I die lah. Unless you're born a royal family or something. Then you're above the law already.
Loyal families, that one is a different story.
Yeah, I mean,
different level of people.
But okay, here's the thing. I know it sounds like it's not good for LGBT here, but I do believe that slowly but surely there's gaining more acceptance.
Yeah. Malaysia is still very conservative country. A lot of things,
because religion still play a key role here.
Yeah, the key role. I mean, especially the religions lah. They are trying to shrink down a lot of this old mindset. They try to. I mean, nowadays modernized. Everything is modern. Then how come we still use because Bible, we can. It's quarrel lah, same things lah. We try to move on from the, I don't know lah. This is maybe against a lot of religions now. We are trying to do something is more like we live happily in this country. We try to do something. Everyone,
more harmony, more
harmony and more understanding.
But it's hard to go against that because like again, religion is a very strong component in Asia. Because it's just how they're brought up, and to go against that is like going against your entire identity sometimes. For some people, religion is their identity. So it's not easy for them to accept the presence and the normalization of LGBT. And we've only talked about LGBTQ. We haven't talked something like, I don't know, drugs, the usage of drugs here and all this kind of like, different aspects in Malaysia. Yeah, it's a big topic. And I'm surprised that we're able to have a decent conversation here without actually having to attack either side lah, basically. even though I say like, religion still enforce this like strict, like, punishment, I think it's mostly because people in power who try to use it as a tool
weapon,
lah, as a
yeah.
weapon lah, to gain support, to really push this. And a lot of people who support this, they just don't know ma. Maybe if given the opportunity to meet some of the gay people, they will understand like they're just normal people like us. They just want to survive. They are worried about paying their rent, want to pay for food, try to find someone to be there for them. They don't really care about all this crazy conspiracy of like trying to change all the people gay or something like that. They don't really care. They're just like normal people like you and me.
Yes.
Only difference is their preference, ma. But I don't know if we will ever reach that kind of point of in Malaysia.
Because in Malaysia, Malaysia lah, especially Malaysia, is a lot of. We lack of this kind of organizations. Just now I voice up this because we lack of this because usually lah, if let's say you are poor people, you are you are drug addicted, you still can look for church, and then maybe I don't know.
There's still a way for you to
is
find.
it possible to help up those people who are drug addicted?
Sort of lah, basic sometimes.
Because the church, they try to help up this group of people, but for this group of people, yeah, they are helpless, helpless.
Really, there's no avenue for them to really find help. The only thing they can do is leave the country,
yeah.
Which is a sad thing to do, like to say that you are born Malaysian since young until old.
But very sad. Okay, I also believe this group of people, a lot of are very talented people. So the talented people, if let's say Malaysia cannot accept this thing, is really got a path of talented will be run out of Malaysia, and maybe this group of people, they are not bad people, they are not people, maybe they are more they have what you call that, they live in Malaysia, it's a Malaysia Lugi lah, I think the Malaysians, yeah.
Nevertheless, it's still the idea that they need to be like kicked out of the country, like it's like it's not a good situation lah. Yeah, I mean, maybe we just need to wait until all the old people die.
I mean, every area, every century
I
also
mean, they
got
still
their
got this kind of
issues
hatred
lah.
yeah.
Still got their issues. Maybe next issue we don't know the next
this
century.
is why I don't like to talk about this because like very depressing, right?
No, maybe one day you got someone to form out the what you call that the organization and help out this group of people. You try to.
I mean, at least Singapore has done that, which is something I never thought would ever happen for Singapore to actually do something like that.
At least now they can go Singapore as a neighbor country.
It's very
Maybe Singapore they accept more talent.
then people complain again. Oh, Singapore always better than Malaysia.
But we are still better, man. We got big house and big car here.
Who got the big house, big car here? You got I don't have a
small car. Might be.
Yeah, okay. All right, we're ending it on that note. This has been an interesting topic of conversation. We hope people are more aware towards the troubles and the things that gay LGBTQ people go through, and try to learn more and understand from their perspective and not immediately attack them if you ever come across these kind of people
Yeah, when you see someone means gay or lesbians don't just pay them respect Don't try to insult them. Say, you say gay those kind of thing
And don't start cursing people like, oh, what happened if your children become gay?
Yeah, so try to pay the at least the respect and polite to those people.
We're not saying that you should go out and support gay people or anything and put the pride flag in your room or anything.
Show up your big dick.
No, just be respectful. That's all. Just try to understand them. Yeah. Okay. All right, we've gone enough for this part 2 of our LGBTQ IAA episode. On the next episode, maybe we'll talk something even weirder.
Maybe we'll have some the other ideas. Maybe we can talk.
I mean, I'm surprised for this topic to come out from you, but it's a good topic to have sometimes to discuss this kind of thing. This is a mama talk, basically, the Teh Tarik talk.
It's just
basically.
Mama Teh Tarik.
Okay, all right. Thank you guys for listening and watching. We hope you enjoyed this, and we hope to see you on the next episode. Until then, subscribe
and like our channel, right?
And we try to make it not as a prostitute episode where you cannot play in front of your children.
This episode can play in front. I don't think this is very
offensive.
Yeah, just enjoy with your families and children.
Viewers discretion advice law. Okay, we'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, goodbye.